So hello to you, wherever you are in the world. My name's David, and you may have come across this video by watching one of my previous ones, or I may be completely new to you. Just a very quick introduction. I'm a UK based artist. I live in Cambridge, and essentially I've do a lot of plein air painting out in the wilds, the fenlands and Cambridgeshire and wider areas like East Anglia. I've been painting since and creating art since I was 16. I'm coming up to 55 now, so it's been at it quite a long time. And I thought, I've been doing quite a few videos in the past, and I thought it's time I did some more, and that's the intention. But the compromise, hello ant, coming across my sketchbook there. I thought the compromise for me at the moment, because quite frankly it's got to be realistic and I've got to be able to keep up with it as well, is I'll only keep them to 5-10 minutes long. They essentially be little insights into technique, but also just general chit chat as well regards art and plein air painting in nature, and perhaps even making a living as an artist as well. I say I've been at it since a long time now. Did my degree in illustration, that was in the 1990s, and then to be honest I can't say I've made a massive success out of my art career. So I'm not saying you should listen to me or not, but it's essentially I've learned a lot, and hopefully I've gained some good skills over that time. And one of the best practices for gaining skills in drawing and painting in a representational way is, of course, going out into the world and painting directly or drawing directly from it. So today you find me here in a place called Milton Country Park, and I'm in a beautiful orchard at the moment, and it's the Easter bank holiday. It's actually the day before Good Friday, so I wanted to get out and connect with nature, enjoy the pleasant weather that we're now having. I was actually hoping to do some of these videos actually over the winter time. There wasn't much of a winter we had in the UK. It certainly wasn't in East Anglia anyway. And so I mean it was more wet and windy, to be honest, and to be quite frank, that was not video making weather really, because any kind of talk over or sort of plein air painting is not the best to do video for when it comes to the wind. Wind is the main factor, not so much rain. I don't mind snow, I love snow. I don't mind the cold, I love the cold as well. But the wind would just not have been suitable for recording sound essentially. So here I am, and hopefully the noise in the background, which I'm actually quite near main dual carriageway, which is very annoying. I would have preferred a lovely tranquil peace and quiet setting, it's but that's the way the modern environment is these days. So I've chose this particular place because it's the blossom has been particularly nice this year, and really attracted to it, and I wanted to do a painting of this, but I wanted to do in pencil, but also I want to add some watercolor to it as well, because the whole point of the blossom is the shock of the the white, or the sort of off-white and slightly pink colors of the blossom against all this green, which we will see, but I can't underestimate the importance of doing good drawing as well. really sort of getting down to grips with the actual proportion of things, and the shape of things, and the distance of things, and the quality of the line and quality of the tone and everything. Just a few pointers here. It's like, I mean, you don't have to copy everything verbatim. I mean, for example, these areas here where I've got the trees in the background, and I'll do a shot of the view in a minute. You can see I've actually reversed the tonality of these, okay, in the bit, and I can actually do that just by going back into with the rubber, putty rubber, and just reaffirming the contour lines, and then actually makes it stand out against the background. But if I was used the actual tone of that tree against the tone of the background, that's essentially what it would look like. Okay, so it all depends on what your vision is. I mean, intention is a big thing when it comes to painting and drawing. When I had students, and I've given up teaching for a little while because I just wanted to put a break from it. And one thing I would always say to them is, what's your intention with the piece? What's your intention with the whole portfolio of your work? What's your vision? And one of the things is like it goes hand in hand with style. And it took me a long time to find my style, and I've found it now. And for me, it's a kind of combination of various artists who I admire, but also it's a combination of also my vision of the subject matter as well. It's a very kind of romantic view, I suppose. It's almost imaginative in some ways, and almost fantasy in some ways as well, because it's kind of mysterious. If you look at some of my work, some of the trees and the subject matter, there's a kind of sort of mysterious quality to nature, which I think is very attractive to me, and they're very overlooked as well. And so that comes into my style as well, and your vision and your intention comes with that essentially. So it's worth spending a good amount of time, not just going out and sort of painting and drawing and just or doing still lives or whatever it is you really want to do. It's worth sort of getting together a sort of a collection of artists who actually really truly inspire you. And we're not talking Monet here, we're not talking Sargent, we're not talking all those great artists who are kind of they're a given in a sense. I would suggest it's actually more important to sort of look beyond those ones, look for the even just as good artists who didn't get as much recognition. And for me, a lot of the artists, it's like a lot of people haven't heard of them really. So take the effort to find out who those artists are, and what is it about the work that actually inspires you? Is it their technique? Is it the vision? Is it the subject matter? Is it do they always paint sort of moody subjects, or do they always paint sunlit subjects? They use colour in a different way than other people. All these elements will help you discover what it is that you're trying to achieve in your style. So I'll stop there for the moment, and then I'll come back to you once I've start putting some paint on there. So the caveat is to what I was saying before regarding finding your style and accumulating artists which are outside the sort of regular sort of artists who are normally getting sort of talked about, or exhibitions of that kind of stuff. The caveat is using it to find your style is not to rip them off. It's like it's certainly important to do master studies and things like that, but it's what you want to do is look at the overlapping qualities of those artists. What are the similarities? What are the things about their, you know, their technique, how they approach brush marks, colour, tone, all that kind of thing, you know. See what the overlaps are to that, and when you start seeing those overlaps, you start realising, you know, it's actually that's something I'd like to create in my own work, perhaps. But it's not to, you know, sort of rip off the artist, because otherwise you'll, you know, not get anywhere that way, to be honest. The other thing to, you know, developing your own style is to get out and sketch, basically, you know, whether it's plein air or whether it's just sketching like this. And this is by no means ever meant to be, this particular sketch is ever meant to be a finished piece of work. It's here as a sketch, you know, for building up my skills, building up my observation skills as well. It's also for, you know, sort of something I can work from back in the studio. It'll be a better resource to work with than a photograph. So when we go out and sketch, you know, we're actually trying to be quite efficient as artists when we go out and sketch, because we want to, you know, try and get as much information as possible within a limited amount of time. And, you know, some of the paintings that I would have going on in the studio can take, you know, weeks or months, whereas you can't have that, you know, time luxury when you go out sketching. So in a sense, what we're doing is we're being efficient, and by being efficient as artists during the sketching process, or even plein air, is actually we're making shortcuts and very decisive decisions as well. And those, you know, really help towards developing, you know, what your point of view is on, you know, how you want to create a mark, capture colour, capture light, capture form, all those elements. Is it going to be slightly more abstract? Is it going to be more detail based? All that kind of stuff really comes into it. So that's the second thing I would sort of recommend when it comes to finding your style. And as I progress with this, I'll, you know, come back in a little while and hopefully a bit more advice. I'm trying not to make this too long-winded, but yeah. So the third and final bit of advice about finding your style, or another title for this might be Artist Rant or Scouser Rant or something like that. I'm kind of losing it now. Is know your medium, basically, and know your paint, know whatever medium it is you're working with, because without knowledge of that, then, you know, you're you know, find it extremely difficult, you know, sort of find your style as well. It takes years and years and years, you know, to get good at art. It's not something that happens overnight, and part of getting good at art is knowing what you how to use the medium, essentially. So it's yeah, that's the final bit of advice I'd like to give. Yeah, it's like, I mean, with watercolor, you know, it's taken me a long time to, you know, sort of get half decent with watercolor. I mean, I'm not even fully there yet, really, to my standard. Really, it's like I'd like to, you know, do various other things with watercolor, which I'm not quite there yet. But it's I'm getting there, and I certainly know. For example, this little area here, where you see the white of the flowers here, where it's more bluish, that's actually white gouache I'm using here. And what happens with white gouache is the whites go darker and the darks go lighter. And without knowing that, and knowing strategically and knowing how that's going to end up in advance, then, you know, I'd be a bit frustrated perhaps with the end result. But I wanted that kind of cool white, which is turned out to be. And then what I've done is used more thicker gouache with a little bit of yellow in there, and that yellow will be a complement to the desaturated violet, which is in the tree trunk, essentially. So it all maps out, you know, through careful thinking and years of experience as well. So I hope you found this helpful when it comes to advice. I try not to go on, but it's sometimes I just get on a bit of a roll. And yeah, tune in for more, and I'll see you next time.